Okay, folks, there's a quick review of the Darth Maul figure that was produced by Hasbro for the Star Wars The Black Series line of 6-inch scale figures. I picked this up through the Toys R Us website for $19.99. Now, my first impressions of this figure, they were very positive when I first got him out of his packaging. I've always liked the Darth Maul character, and out of the initial wave of the Black Series 6-inch scale figures that are currently being offered, this was the figure that I wanted to add to my collection the most. Now, I did find it interesting that this figure's robe is made of plastic, and that his uniform is also mostly plastic with very little cloth. Personally, I think I would have preferred cloth for this robe as opposed to this molded plastic, but it still looks okay nonetheless. And the only cloth that I did find is in his uniform's kilt, and that was it. Paint apps on the figure were very nicely done with no appreciable errors. The facial tattoos in particular are very nicely done on this figure, and I have to congratulate Hasbro for doing such a nice job on them. The articulation joints move pretty well for the most part on this figure. I had no problem in moving the head, unless he's wearing this robe, the shoulders, the wrists, or the hips. The elbows, the waist, the knees, and the ankles were very stiff and hard to move, but they are beginning to free up with repeated movements. And it should be noted that when Darth Maul is wearing this robe, the posability of this figure is somewhat reduced, with no head movement, and the arms aren't able to move as freely. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'll give you a closer look as to what Darth Maul looks like. Okay. Alright, Darth Maul comes with 4 accessories, so let me pan down real quick and I'll show you what they are. There was no figure stand included in the package, and I'll be honest, I thought that was a bit of a disappointment, considering how expensive these figures are in retail stores. However, I did notice that there are peg holes in his feet, and that will allow you to use an aftermarket stand if you so choose. Okay, first up, here's his alternate head sculpt. Now, I did have a hard time switching the head sculpt out on this figure, as you have to gently move that robe off of his arms and then pop his head off that neck joint. Now, on my figure, I noticed that both of the head sculpts had a tendency to get stuck on that neck joint, so I'm curious if that's a flaw with just my figure, or if all these Darth Maul figures are like that. So, if you have any insight on that, please comment below and let me know what's going on. Okay, next up, here is his famous double-bladed lightsaber. Now, just like with the lightsaber that came with the 6-inch Luke Skywalker figure, you can pose this in an activated form, or you can do it like this in a deactivated form. Now, the hilt that came with this lightsaber, it can split apart, just like this. See? Just like that. And there you go. And as you can see, the lightsaber hilt has excellent detailing on it. Now, the hilt has a small peg right here, and you can pose it on the right side of the figure's waist and peg it into place. Now, one thing I wasn't too keen about was that this hilt is made from a very soft plastic. And I'll show you that real quick. See how soft that is? I just don't like it. And when I had this lightsaber posed on the figure's waist in its deactivated form, it looked warped, and it just didn't look very appealing. And also of note, the joint holding these two lightsaber halves is shaped like a half circle. I'll show you that real quick. See? Looks like a half circle. So you have to align both of the halves for proper assembly. Finally, here are his macro binoculars, and he used these on Tatooine when he was searching for Queen Amidala and the rest of her party. And as you can see, these also have some really nice detailing on them. Back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of Darth Maul for you and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So here he is from the front. Here he is from the left. Here he is from the rear. The right-hand side. Finally, here we are once again, facing forward. So overall, I have to say that I like this Darth Maul figure quite a bit. He comes with some good accessories, and I think he looks great, and he also has some really great articulation, and that's going to allow you to get some really nice action poses. I wasn't overly pleased with the robe being plastic, but as I said at the beginning of the review, it still looks okay. And I don't like that it was so time-consuming to change the overall appearance of this figure. But in spite of that, I'm going to give this figure a great recommendation. In spite of the problems that I ran into, I think it's a really nice addition for your Star Wars figure collection. So if you see him in stores, pick him up. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.